Throughout the bedsheets and the blankets, I alone am the pillowed one. What's up, guys? Okkotsu here, and here we are to do a little breakdown and discussion on whether or not Yuta Okkotsu can wield the Limitless, the powers of the heavens, born into the Gojo clan itself, whether or not he is bound, unable to wield the abilities even with the overwhelming power of his deadly domain. Let's not waste any more time, and let's hop right into it. Editing me, ready, 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do happen to... Oh no. Where did you go? Oh, actually, I do happen to have it on me. And keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, Yuta Okkotsu has shown off the ability to use cleave. Cleave. Now, you may be wondering, pencil in, why does this matter? Are we here to talk about the Limitless? What is this hype about cleave? You know, it's just a random little thing. In fact, if you ask a lot of people think cleave and dismantle are trash techniques, or at least only carried by Sukuna. I'm going to make a video talking about that separately when I do how good is cleave and dismantle actually. That's another video for another time. But of course, the reason I'm bringing up the fact that Yuta Okkotsu has unlocked cleave is because, one, it's the second new technique, well actually third. It is the third, because there are 3 new techniques that Yuta has shown exclusively in the battle between Ryoma and Sukuna, and himself alongside Yuji Todori and the Queen of Curses, Wikid Orimoto. Technique number 1, of course, was what was imbued into the domain itself, what holds Sukuna back, Jacob's Ladder. This is the immediate thing that he's using in order to hold Sukuna down and possibly cook him alive. We obviously seen Jushigami technique before, but the next major technique that we saw him pull out was something that a lot of people were not expecting him to pull out. It was Charles's Future Sight, using the ability from a man that I think a lot of people forgot was even canon, and finally the utilization of cleave. Now, here's the thing. This has kind of opened the floodgates, all right? Because a lot of people were pretty much hardline stance against the fact that Yuta Okkotsu could hypothetically wield cleave, like at all. Mainly because a lot of people thought the conditions had to be met. Like, he had to nibble on Sukuna. And of course, there was no Sukuna for him to nibble on. And heck, even in the short moment from when he immediately arrived on the battlefield way back, I say way back, it was like 3 weeks ago, way back in 248, a lot of people just saw that and was like, oh, well, if he needs to nibble, and the hand seems to be lying around and no one seemed to pick that bad boy up, we don't get to see bro nibble, he's not going to be able to whip out cleave. He showed up on the battlefield too quickly. Him and Rika immediately got to work, and I don't see him or her chewing on something. So obviously, Yuta Okkotsu can't whip out cleave. He whipped out cleave. So, I... and many others have been saying for a while now that Yuta Okkotsu has no real condition. He just needs to know what the technique is. And considering the fact that this has happened, it seems to double down on that. So I'm sorry. As a rewriter, I hate to disavow my boy and his beautiful and legendary assumption, but Yuta Okkotsu is just broken, and we're going to live with that, and we're going to love it. So, of course, the next major question is, sure, he copied the technique of the strongest character in the verse. But what about the second strongest? What about Gojo Satoru? Could he hypothetically wield the powers of the Limitless? This is something that Sukuna himself even comes into question. He's like, the Angel's Jacob's Ladder, space manipulation technique, a technique that creates an imbolial barrier on the path of Ishikigami, cursed speech, clairvoyance, and the Limitless? No, he shouldn't be able to control it without the 6 eyes. Has he played all his cards? So, even Sukuna, who is, at this point, in terms of our living cast, the most knowledgeable character in the series, this is so weird. I'm sorry. I need to acknowledge, like, it's resting on top of my domer. I'm about to do a bulk recording session like this. This is going to be fun. I'm going to be sweating buckets. But with that being the case, the thing that's brought up here by Sukuna that a lot of people are doubling down on is the fact that Yuta Okkotsu should not be able to wield the Limitless, right? Because, like, you need the 6 eyes for that. But, I feel like a lot of people are forgetting what the 6 eyes does, and or whether or not the 6 eyes is actually necessary for the Limitless. It isn't, long story short. Like, you can be born with one or the other. Remember, the combination of the Limitless and the 6 eyes is super duper rare, but like, the Limitless and or the 6 eyes actually aren't. Like, remember, Kenjaku wasn't stopped by... Kenjaku was not stopped by this combination. He wasn't hit with a purple every single time. Bro was hit with the Six Eyes. The Six Eyes came and stopped Kenjaku on numerous occasions. It was not the Limitless and the Six Eyes. It was solely the Six Eyes. Which means that you can be born with one and not the other. And of course, vice versa with the Limitless. As Gojo Satoru even mentions way back when Purple first gets introduced in chapter 75, let me put my best Gojo voice. Innate techniques that have been passed down through the generations have an advantage of how-to manuals. The disadvantage is that word gets out about the techniques. You must be from one of the big three sorcerer families, most likely Zenin. No wonder you knew about Blue, Red, and the Limitless. Note how he mentions the Limitless. Not the Limitless and the Six Eyes, but once again, we're not even getting to that. But this, even within the Gojo family, is known to only a few. Motion and reversal. It is born by colliding both infinities, an imaginary mass that rushes forth. Hollow technique. Purple. So, like, you can do it. The reason you don't do it is because the Limitless genuinely sucks without the Six Eyes. Why? Because it burns so much cursed energy. That's the main reason it's whack. It's the same reason why we don't necessarily talk about creation all too much, despite it being innately a really, really broken technique. You need a bunch of cursed energy to wield the Limitless or the Six Eyes. One of the reasons why you can wield this Limitless to its peak with the Six Eyes is because it cuts down cursed energy cost so drastically, and two, it allows for perception on that subatomic, on that atomic level, on that spiritual soul, cursed energy tier level, but you don't need it, especially for more basic applications of the Limitless. Remember, you can just be Teen Gojo pre-awakening. You can just not have the rest of the technique. You can just be stuck with Blue. That's presumably a lot of previous Limitless users were stuck with because they couldn't do it. It's why Purple's so rare, because the combination for the perfect gene pool of Limitless, Six Eyes, RCT is super duper rare, but it's not impossible. So the question goes back to Yuta Okkotsu. Can he wield it? Well, let's look at the conditions that are here. We see that Yuta Okkotsu is able to copy techniques conditionlessly. He can whip those bad boys out whenever he feels like it. And of course, Sukuna made the unhealthy assumption that Yuta Okkotsu was out of cards to play. And then he pulled out Cleave. And what is Yuta Okkotsu? Very consistently, I guess not consistently, I think it's like thrice. No, twice. Maybe quintice. What is Yuta Okkotsu specifically stated to have lots of, insane amounts of, crazy amounts? Yeah, the Limitless, boundless, juicy amounts of that cursed za, that cursed energy. Bro has oogles and boogles of that bad boy. So, there's a natural question. Since he has enough cursed energy to wield it, and of course, while he's not connected to fully manifested Rika at this point, even with the ring on, it's very likely Rika could lend a little bit of that cursed za to him if he really ran out. What stops bro from picking up a blade that has blue? What stops bro from picking up a blade that has red? What stops bro from picking up a blade that has the Limitless? Because blue and red are subsets of the Limitless, so he should be able to use it. Now, the only real issue is like, what Sukuna says here, he shouldn't be able to control it without the Six Eyes. What does he mean by control it? Like, notably, we just don't know. We know you can be born with just a Limitless, and we know you can be born with just the Six Eyes, but we don't know what, like, an unrestrained blue would do, what an unrestrained red would do, and if it's even possible for him to perform purple. But I think it should be fine. It would just probably be a really, really big blue. Maybe. And probably a really, really big red. Also maybe. Now, of course, that may lead to like a counter effect of him like detonating himself. But at the same time, remember, it's do or don't against Sukuna right now. I say it's worth the risk. And another thing, it is a question on whether or not he could access the pinnacle of it, right? Because of course, as Gojo mentions, purples, it's quite a secret little thing. We literally see bro spam purples. Like bro used it on Hanami, of all things. Like, bro is willing to throw it out, and Yuta has also seen it. Bro's seen the vision. Bro has the Carfax, and he has RCT. So how could he do it, right? Like, sure, maybe he can pull up the basic Limitless, right? Because he has the cursed energy reserves, and he has Rika to re-up his cursed energy if he ever needs it, and he's likely seen more than enough of the Limitless to actually pull it out if a need be. But the question is, could he really access purple if he did have all that juice, all that za, all that wonderful stuff in him? Yeah. All he needs to do is win the lottery twice. Now, this sounds so stupid, but he does need to win the lottery twice. Because remember what's stated about Yuta Okkotsu's domain and the amount of swords in it. Okkotsu Yuta's all-encompassing unequivocal love allows him to choose any one of his copy techniques to imbue the barrier with as the domain sure in effect. His remaining copy techniques are scattered randomly amongst the katanas within his domain. Only Okkotsu can utilize them, but not even he knows which katana contains the technique until he grasps it for the first time. While each katana only can be used once, their number is infinite. So he just needs to grab 2 Limitless, put RCT into one of them, put regular C into the other, and clap them together, and then you get purple. Because remember, despite purple being super duper rare, it's not actually that complex. Like, it sounds so stupid to say it's not actually that complex. But like, it really isn't. All purple is smacking a red and blue together. Like, sure, it's dramatized the whole, but it sounds so weird. I feel like I'm reducing Limitless down to like a joke. But it is dramatized a bunch. But remember, Gojo says it himself. This is, even within the Gojo family, only known to a few. Motion and reversal. It is born by colliding both infinities. An imaginary mass rushes forth. So he just needs to take a blue and a red and smack them together. Now, of course, the reason why I'm completely fine with him being fully capable of doing this, yet at the same time choosing to not do it, even though I 100% believe he can do it, based on how the Limitless is established within the universe, based on Yuta's hype about his amount of cursed energy, all that and more. The main reason I'm perfectly fine with him not doing this is because of that Sukuna statement. It's because of the fact that it's clearly stated that he may not be able to control it. And remember what happened to the last guy who went all willy-nilly and smacked a maximum output red and a maximum output blue together. He nearly burned himself a lot. Like, that's the main issue. If I was more confident in the fact that Yuta would be fine, like just letting it out, or he could like loosely direct it, I'd be okay. But I'm afraid, considering how he basically has to boot. Like notably, it's hard to tell with the katanas, right? Like, maybe he can choose how to use them properly, because notably, the Cursed Speech katana isn't just a katana that like allows him to like speak it. Like, he doesn't have to use the katana like a microphone to use cursed speech. The marks appear on him temporarily, then disappear. Then he grabs another katana and smacks Sugino with a thin icebreaker, which immediately breaks the katana. But like, we don't know, considering we see him use sky manipulation with one hand while holding presumably the sky manipulation katana in the other hand. So hypothetically, he could only need one, meaning he could hypothetically aim it, but if he does need to just pick up 2 katanas and fuse them with different amounts of cursed energy, or positive energy and negative energy, and smack them together, he's likely going to detonate the entire area and slaughter everyone there, including himself. If not himself, he's going to fry himself. And sure, Suguna's very, very close to being fried himself, as you can see, but even still, with the danger that could hypothetically come from Bro unleashing an unrestricted hollow purple or an unrestricted blue or an unrestricted red in this very limited environment, and the fact that it's very likely that Sukuna would survive it, because remember what Sukuna says here, well, I may be cooked, y'all. Because right now, I probably have just about as much curse energy as Yuta Okkotsu himself. So like, both could tank it. Actually, now that I think about it, it may be worth the risk. Actually, I'm putting it all aside now. Because here's the thing. Suguna's tanked purples before. He tanked the unrestricted hollow purple. And, like, sure, it would be healable, because we've seen him heal. But considering the fact that Suguna is, like, kind of, not necessarily cooked, but, like, Bro's brain is not braining right now, at least not to the same degree that it was before, to the point where, as he mentions, every time I take a blow from this brat, my cursed energy output falls, and my control of this body weakens. We'll just keep chipping away until I can no longer maintain Hollow Wicker Basket. So, like, Bro's not in a state where he could recover from what he recovered from at the end of 235 by incarnating. Because Bro can't incarnate anymore. And his RCT is still clearly quite fried, to the point where he still can't open domain, so it may just be worth dropping a purple on his head. I say this holistically, unironic. Like, you may just need to do it. Yuta, whip it out. Now, here's the thing. The big issue, though, it's probably gonna... The reason he still can't do it, even with my being okay with it, is, number one, while Sukuna's there, Yuji's also there. And, like, I'm confident Because here's the thing, though. The two are actually kind of comparable in bulk now, which is so weird to think about. But, like, apparently both Yuji and Yuta are kind of relative in terms of their overall bulk, in the sense that they both fall under Ryu, which is fantastic. But, like, Sukuna throws out dismantles at both of them, and they both eat them, quote-unquote. But then again, this is a Sukuna with extremely nerfed output, at least according to he himself. So, like, maybe Yuji wouldn't be able to survive a purple, and maybe Yuji wouldn't be able to survive a purple. But remember, the purple would be scaled to Yuta's level of output. And presumably he could tank his own attack. But then again, I don't know. It really is the gamble. I'd say it's like a last resort kind of thing. Like Sukuna's about to win. He's 5 seconds away from activating his domain. You smack an unrestricted hollow purple on his head and see how he deals with that. That's my thought. I think he can use it, though I probably think he shouldn't because of the danger they're in right now. However, that's what I think. Please, what you guys think in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave unrestricted boom in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching. Please to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure to hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do happen to have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member to the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks will include a live reaction to the very next chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dag with the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members, Recliner Plays, Red Wolf 4765, Greyhound, and Atkins Void. I'd like to give another big thank you to our $5 patrons, Victor, Sean, RNG Master, Midnight Gemlord, Metal Solid Crisis, Kevin, Igneal, and Demix LND. Another scrumptious thank you to our $7 members, Autumn, Mornings, Lazo, and Sick Addiction. And I'd like to give another hefty thank you to our $10 patrons, Robbie Uchiha, Joaquin, Idemokami, and China Doll 09. And I'd like to give another gargantuan thank you to our $25 member, Alex Ice Rose. And I'd like to give a thank you, an amazing thank you to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder. And another thank you to our next $25 patron, eHack1. And a final thank you to our final $25 patron, Stira.